Hello guys, welcome to your own channel I Live for Coding, and here I am your friend Ronit Mukherjee. This video is a part of the series Building Todo Application under the parent series Build to Learn. In this series we will create a Todo application using Bootstrap, ES6, jQuery, Ajax, Node.js, ExpressJS, MongoDB and Mongoose. So lots of technologies will be used in this application, hence it will be a great opportunity for you guys to learn these technologies integrated together. So if you haven't watched the previous sessions of this series, then quickly watch it now because it is very necessary to understand this video. You may click on the caption appearing on the top right of the video right now, or can find the link in the description below. In this video, we will learn about the strategy we should follow for the distributed architecture of response handling, how to use generic class for base response, where to create generic response creator and API specific response, and some other special tips. So do watch the video till the end so that you do not miss any important information. So guys, if you haven't subscribed the channel yet, then quickly press the subscribe button, and to not to miss the future videos, press the bell icon too. Okay, let's start today's video. So guys, if you have watched the previous sessions, then you may know that here the router, this is the router which we are using. And now after the router, so whenever we hit a request, this router accepts that and finally gives the data to our controller. Means controller handles the middleware thing, means it will understand the request data and do the necessary things for the data, and finally give some response. So that according to that response, we will send response to the client. So what I have done here in today's session, we will learn about this thing. So how to set this response to the client. So guys, I am setting the response duty to the router. Means router is responsible to set the response for the client. Okay. So for that, what I have done is that this controller will return something or the other, and according to that, a new response will be set for the client. Okay. So what I have done here is, you can see that if the to-dos, means this return which is written from here, is false, then what I will send a rest.json to-do response.db failure. So guys, here lot of things to understand. This thing, this part and this part. So first of all, let me show you what this is. So how this is being received. So let me go to the controller here, and in the controller I will show you. See, this is the get which is being called, and finally I am returning a new promise from here. So that's why I have used an await here in the response. Let me show you in the routes here in the router. You can see that I am using await here. Okay. And finally, if I again go to the controller here, you can see that on different conditions I have resolved a different value. So you can see that if there is an error, this is the model function. If there is some problem in the model, means there is some problem in the DB query which we want to run, then in that case I am returning false. So in this case you can return something else as per your standards. You can make your own standards, like I will return some A, B, C, so for different values, or 1, 2, 3, 4 for different errors or success. Fine. So what I have done, in case of DB failure I am resolving false, in success case I am returning response, and in case of some other issue which is going into the cache, I will return -1. So now you can understand that if I go to the route section, you can see here that rest.json, here you can see it's false, -1, else it is true. So we know in any case there is a DB issue, then it will return false. In other some server related issue, it will return -1. So what I have done, if this condition matches, then I want to return to-do response.db failure. So guys, this rest.json is the inherited code, means this is the default code which is present with the ExpressJS, and it allows us to send the response in the format of JSON. So all the headers and everything will be automatically set by this function. Just we need to pass a JavaScript object notation to it, or object to it, and finally it will send that as a response in the form of JSON. So guys, this is very important. So if you want to send a JSON response, you have to use rest.json. And what is this rest? This is the rest and request we receive as the callback function parameter of the router. So now what I'm doing here is res.json, and finally I'm returning a JavaScript object notation. But guys, you can see that I'm not creating a static JavaScript object notation here. This is very important, and this is here what we will learn about the distributed architecture. So what I have done is, like, I'm using a separate to-do response module. So let us understand what this is. You can see this is to-do response, and here this is the responses. So let us open it, and we can see this is a class. This is a class, and from where finally we are returning an object of this class, and this class contains this methods: add success, get success, success, DB failure, and failure. So you can understand what these functions are which are being used in the routes here. DB failure, failure, get success. Okay, get success means is the success of the get request. Okay, that's why I've created. So like this, we have created our own separate module inside this. You can see responses inside our to-do modules, and here we will write our responses. So guys, like this, it is very easy for us that anytime we want to make an update into the error message or the error message content, we can easily go to our responses file and do the necessary changes for the specific URL. For example, I want to make some changes for the get request. Then I do not need to wonder, and I do not need to find it out through all our controller or the router code. I can directly go to the to-dos response file and go to the get success. So this is the get success, this one, and I can directly go and make the necessary changes here. So what is this? I will explain you in a while. So now you can understand that finally I am receiving an object from here which I will send to the client. So guys, first distribution what we did, we made a separate file, a separate module to handle the responses for a particular module. Means all the responses for the to-do module will be handled inside the to-dos responses file. So you can also segregate your code like this. This makes your code very, very maintainable. Now let me show you one more segregation which makes your code one step more maintainable and easy to maintain and change this. Sorry guys. So here you can see what I'm doing is here creating a new response. Means response, here I'm creating an object which I am returning, because finally we need a JavaScript object there. That's why I'm returning a new object of response class. Now understand what this response is and why we have created this response. So guys, this is the one more segregation of our code, so that now you can understand that this, let me show you, this is the DB failure. For example, in case of DB failure, I'm setting this as an error message, and this is something else which I will explain you in a while. But I'm sending this as an error message. So now it is clear that the messages which we are setting is under the control of the modules responses, because I want to set different response messages for different modules and different requests. So that handling is here. But what will be the architecture? How that final JSON will look? What will be its keys? In which key the actual this message will go? Where the data will go? Where the status code will go? Where the status will go? All these structure needs to be defined somewhere. So guys, in general, what the many people and many of us do is create the object literals directly and send it as a response. But what the problem is that, suppose, let me show you somewhere else. Suppose everywhere you're doing something like this, in your whole code, on all modules, you have written something like this: status, this, and message like this, something, and finally data. Okay, this you have written and understood it. Let's understand that you have mentioned this static object literal for each and every responses, for each and every request URLs, for each and every routes. So you have written this statically. But suppose that in future there comes a need that in every response, whichever response we are sending from the client, whether it's for the success or the failure, we need a special we need one more key in every response, suppose which is status code. I want a special status code for each and every our responses. Means 101 means something, 102, 103, 104, so that whenever the we want to debug that what was the response code, we can easily identify that this was the problem which was being sent to the client. Now understand one thing. So if in general you have used this object literal directly in your all the modules, consider that it's a big application and everywhere you have mentioned this code in a form of object literal statically, then what you have to do is go to each and every single response code and there you have to write this thing extra. Can you understand this? What's the big problem? So this makes your code to be changed, but what our purpose should be that write a code in a way that it is updatable but not changed. Means we have to write a code in a way that it can be updated easily but not to be changed. Means we do not have to make a whole logical change into the code. It can easily adapt the new requests, new demands of the business. Okay, so as this is the new demand of the business, but it makes, if we have used this as a static, it makes our code very difficult to be changed. Everywhere you have to go and it's a long time. But now understand what I have done and how it is easy. What I have done is created a single file which will create the structure of the response. So it will always give me the structure. So this is the file response and I have created a separate module, utility modules. You can see utility modules, this one. And here is a file called response. So guys, this utility module is for all the things which we want some common codes to keep here. If you want, there are some common functions, classes, something which can be used in multiple modules, that all those codes we keep inside the utility module. So I have created the response class inside our utility module. Now you can understand that here what I am doing is that let me just delete that. We don't need that. It's a simple class response. What I'm doing here, I've created a response status codes variable. It's a private variable because I haven't kept it in with this. And now I've created a map, a simple map where success is 100, failure is 101 and some this. This is for the status code which I was just discussing. And suppose this line was not there earlier. So if we create an object of this class, what will be it? How it will look? It will have status, it will have message, it will have data. Very simple, as earlier we had, but now we need and see what I have done. Everywhere I have used this new response. You can see. So it means that we are using the single file or the single constructor to create the structure of the response which we want to set. And suppose there is a need that we want to have status code now. So see how easy it is. I will simply go to our file, simply this here, and I will simply go and do this. Means I will add this new line and it will simply start adding status code to all the responses. So now you can understand how it is easy to maintain our code. In future, suppose the business asks that with every response code we want something this dot referral, something like this. We want this in every response. So we can do something like this. Suppose like this. Now every response will automatically start having this referral. Okay, just ignore this spelling, but we will easily add any data. We can easily, and suppose somebody says that okay, now we do not need the status code. What we can do? Simply just remove this line. We do not need referral, simply remove this line. So we do not have to go to independent controllers, modules, routes and change independent responses where we have statically written the our object literals. So guys, you can now understand how it makes our code maintainable, how makes it our code easy to change. So guys, I'm just removing this because I need status codes. I'm just unblocking it and as this is the map, so it will give me get and status code name, which is this. So guys, like this, see how again I will tell you how it is easy. Suppose in future somebody says that now for the success we do not need 100 but we want 1000. So we do not have to go to the independent code and make the changes, but what we will do here, that we will simply change the value of the success. Means we have kept a single key as a success for which it will represent as the 1000, or we can change it to 100, we can change it to 1, anything. So it makes our code easy to adapt new changes and make some changes to our code for the maintenance. Okay, so now let's see. So all these I have done. Okay, let's see it into action, how it really behaves. So here you can see that I am receiving status code 100. Again, let me send this a get request. So now let me show you the complete thing. So it's going to the /to-do/. It means it's going to our code somewhere here. It's going to this route. Finally, what it's doing? It's going to this controller, and all things are correct. That's why it's returning the response. That's why it's going here. Finally, it's going here. So what it's doing? It's saying that res.json to-do response.get success. So now let us go to this code, get success. What it's doing? You can understand here. So it's saying return new response, 1, null, and data. So we received some data which we sent here. Data to-dos means all the to-dos which we fetched. We are sending this to the get success. And finally, what get success is doing? It's saying the new response, 1, null, and data. 1 means the success, means everything went very well, it's success. Otherwise 0. And what this is, let me show you. You can see status is 1 or 0, means in case of failure it's 0. In case of in a complete failure, that you made some wrong request, you made something wrong, then in that case its status is 0. Okay, and what's the message? Message is this, means null. I do not want, so see how easy it is, that in my response I do not want to have message, I can simply pass null. If I do not want the data key, I can pass null. Simply, I want the status code name to be success. So I have kept the status code name by default as success. Now you can understand why we are receiving 100 here. This 100 here. So this is easy. You can see we are receiving 100 here because by default we have set the status code name as success. Here you can see, let me show you for better clearance. So let me go here, and you can see get success, and get success is like this, and I haven't passed anything. So if I haven't passed anything, then by default value will be success, and in case of success the value is 100. That's why we are getting the status code as 100. And similarly, let me do some mistake in some different code. Let me go to the post one, and let me go to the post one here, and let me make some changes. See, I made a change here. In case of title, I made it title, so that it's necessary, and I hope there will be some DB query failure because it's not receiving title, and I made that title key as required. So we should receive some DB failure. Now let me hit it. You can see the status is 0 because there is a failure. Secondly, status code is 102 and message is DB. So you can understand that how easily we can modify our response using just passing different values, and it makes our code so easy. So you can see we are receiving 102 as a status code and a message as DB area operation failed. So let me show you how this is set. Now let's consider to the routes post one. Let me close this. We are going here. Suppose something failed, so it's going to the false section, and it's saying that to-do response DB failure. Now let's see what is this DB failure. So you can see I'm creating a new response with status as 0, and this is the message. We do not need any data, so data is null. And finally I'm sending the status code as DB query failure. So we are not passing the value here because we want that in future if there is any need of changing the value, I can easily change it from a single place, not to update all the code. So I'm just saying that it's a DB query failure. So when it will go to this, it will say, okay, DB query failure means 102, and this is the only reason that we are receiving 102 here. So I hope guys you understood that how to distribute your code, what's the importance of the distribution of the code, how easy it makes your code to be maintained, and in future you can easily adapt for the new upcoming business changes. So like this, you should break your code into multiple files and multiple modules so that your code becomes easy to maintain. Okay guys, so I hope you have liked this video. So quickly press the like button and share this video with your friends and colleagues. And please, if you have any comments or any question, you can write it down in the comment section below. So guys, let's end today's video here. We'll meet soon in our next video. Till then, take care and bye-bye.